A further 500 free schools would be opened in England in the next 5 years under a Conservative government, David Cameron will pledge. He will commit to creating an extra 270,000 school places in free schools, if re-elected, by 2020. The Prime Minister says these state-funded, start-up schools are raising standards and restoring discipline. Shadow Education Secretary Tristram Hunt says free schools lead to school places where they are not needed. Speaking in London, Mr. Cameron will set out the details of the final wave of 49 free schools agreed for the current Parliament, and then promise an expansion if re-elected in May's general election. Raising performance. Free schools, both primary and secondary, are set up by academy sponsors, charities, teachers, and groups of parents, and operate outside local authority control. Academy sponsors include faith groups, universities, and companies. With the free schools being announced later, there will be more than 400 already opened or approved, with 230,000 places. But the policy has been controversial because there is no local strategic oversight of where these schools open, and some have opened in areas where there are already enough school places. Equally, some local authorities in areas where new schools are needed have struggled to find groups to open free schools. Mr. Cameron will say that the Conservatives are the only party that's opening up the education system so we can get more good places for your children. He will say that free schools are not only outperforming other schools, but they are raising the performance of those around them, meaning more opportunities for children to learn the skills they need to get on in life. Education Secretary Nicky Morgan told BBC Radio 4's Today programme that free schools were a huge success story. We know from our own evidence that 72% of free school heads say they are having a positive impact on local schools in their area, they are driving up standards and they are giving parents more choice about having a great local school in their area, she said. If Conservative plans went ahead, more than 1 in 30 state schools would be free schools by the end of the next Parliament. The Labour Party has promised to cancel the free schools programme, saying that it diverts funds away from creating extra places where there is the greatest shortage. Instead of focusing on the need for more primary school places, David Cameron's government has spent £241 million on free schools in areas that already have enough school places, said Shadow Education Secretary Mr. Hunt. The result is a 200% increase in the number of infants taught in classes of more than 30. A Liberal Democrat spokesman said the proposal masked the deep cuts the Conservatives were planning for education. Data mining. Research published by the Policy Exchange think tank suggests the extra competition from free schools raises academic standards in nearby underperforming schools. For each of the 171 schools in its study, it looked at exam results in the 3 similar schools that were nearest. Jonathan Simons, head of education at Policy Exchange, told BBC Radio 4's Today programme that lower performing schools had shown an association of increased results over and above the results in the same type of schools which were not near a free school. However, the report itself acknowledges that the study cannot conclusively prove that any improvement on neighbouring schools is down to the competitive effect of free schools. Labour's Tristram Hunt says free schools are often in the wrong places. Dr. Rebecca Allen, director of think tank Education Datalab, said the sample size was too small. When you have really small sample sizes, you should just be looking at mean average effect across all neighboring schools, she said. Everything else just becomes data mining, looking in your data until you find something that suits the position you want to take. And on that main average result the Policy Exchange just don't find any impact. The report showed mid to high performing schools near free schools had deteriorated in their performance compared to similar schools nationally, she added. Kevin Courtney, Deputy General Secretary of the National Union of Teachers, said the study revealed that the push for more free schools was not really parent-led but was now dominated by academy sponsors. Education Secretary Nicky Morgan says 500 more schools will be effective. Natalie Evans, director of the New Schools Network, which supports the opening of free schools, said free schools encouraged other schools to raise their game and should be targeted in all areas. The Department for Education said that for the first time, the new wave of free schools would be able to receive capital funding to provide nursery places for 2 to 4-year-olds. Among the new free schools to be announced will be the Green School for Boys in Isleworth and Brentford, the Northampton International Academy, the Great Western Academy, Swindon, the new school for Harrow, Swindon Church of England Secondary School, Cheadle Hulme Primary School, Stockport and Bishop Chavis School, Tunbridge, Kent.